Let's talk e-commerce or the developments within the e-commerce sphere at the moment. We're going to be talking to a tech-driven logistics solutions brand delivering joy to all businesses as well as individuals. I am, of course, talking about Jeebly. The co-founder and the CEO of Jeebly is Raman Pathak, who joins us live on the line now this morning. Good morning to you, Raman.
Good morning, Tom, and to your listeners.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
No, not at all. Great to have you with us here, especially given what is such a fascinating time for all things e-commerce at the moment. I suppose there's only one place to start. A lot of people realising that e-commerce really came into its own and was accelerated during the pandemic, Raman. How has the pandemic affected your business, and how has it affected e-commerce delivery services here in the region?
Yeah, so I'll go back to the pandemic when it started, right? So when you look back, the online shopping was not at that great level, but now these days it has become a necessity. So whatever you want to order, whether it is gifts or your groceries or your e-commerce products or even your medicines, right? You order and get them delivered. But one really has to understand that the logistics behind it goes, and it comes to all the last mile delivery companies or the delivery companies. So we've been very agile and flexible in terms of adopting what is required in terms of the safety regulations, the contactless deliveries. Of course, the demand was huge, and we were quickly ramping up our supply side to make it more efficient, because as the e-commerce is growing and the rise of further Q-commerce is coming on. So the expectations from delivery companies or from all these companies for customer has changed a lot.
Talk to me about the rise. I mean, e-commerce I've got my head around now, although it took me a little while. Q-commerce is a new one to me though, Raman. What is Q-commerce?
So Q-commerce is, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20-minute deliveries. So it was earlier restricted to only the food delivery segment or the grocery deliveries. Now the rise of Q-commerce is coming into the e-commerce as well, and that's where the Jeebly comes in. And we are redefining last mile logistics 2.0, and we are calling it fast mile logistics. So the industry needs to really see a change, and there's a paradigm shift which is happening at this point in time. And once we look at Jeebly says the fast mile logistics, and we are delivering at the speed of smart without efficient technology or efficient processes. So that's all. How do you ensure that in 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 20 minutes the delivery happens to the end consumers?
You mentioned a little earlier on, Raman, that online shopping or e-commerce has become a necessity for many of us during the lockdown. And I completely get that when it comes to areas such as food and groceries and pharma, etc. But is it all areas that have benefited with regards to e-commerce or online? Or are there certain categories that have not really fully embraced e-commerce?
No, so you will see, or you're seeing the changes everywhere. So okay, we understand the food is necessity, the grocery is necessity, or the medicines are necessities. But when you look at the new phone is launched today, and the companies have announced it, you want to have it in next 4 hours when it is launched. You want to be the first one to utilize it. Same goes for many other products, right? So you will see that rise everywhere in each and every category.
So let's talk organisation if we can, because you don't have to look far in order to see the number of delivery modules out there at the moment. Delivery platforms are popping up left, right, and centre. A lot of companies are taking delivery on board themselves as well, rather than sourcing it out. How does one go about organising or structuring delivery for all?
See, there are a couple of things which one needs to really, account for. Somebody really comes in today. It is not a one-day job. It takes a lot of efforts to really deliver. And one has to understand delivery business is not only about you're dealing with one leg of customer. You're dealing with two customers at one point in time. One is your B2B client, and the other one is your B2C client, which is your client's customer. So you have to satisfy both the customers. And when you look at how these things are done. You need a robust technology. You need to be customer service focused, because if you don't deliver on time, the two brands get impacted. One is from where people are buying, the second one who's delivering it, right? So Jeebly is there, all there to support. We've been building our technology, proprietary technology, it's in place. We're moving to the new facilities. We have bigger facilities across the UAE, and further expanding our footprints to other GCC markets.
What would you say is the biggest challenge facing the industry at the moment?
So it is all about, meeting the customer expectations, right? And you see how the e-commerce or the market fluctuates when you look at the different demand and supply patterns. So when somebody really looks at the demand side, so for a delivery company like us, it is really how do we manage our supply side on the drivers? How do we keep them, safe? How do we keep them trained? And how do we comply with all the regulations within the industry and with the regulators? So I would say managing the supply side is a biggest one, plus focusing on the customer service with the robust technology.
You mentioned safety there, and obviously that is a conversation that many of us have. How do you go about ensuring the safety of your drivers?
So what we do is within Jeebly's premises, we've got a Jeebly Academy, which is the training center for our drivers. We work hand in hand with the regulators, whether it is RTA, whether it is municipality across UAE, and we ensure that whatever the trainings are required, they are imparted with those trainings. We also do have internal refresher training programs which are conducted each and say 3 months down the line, and we see on the performance how one driver is performing, and basis on their customer service skills, basis on their driving skills, if somebody had an accident or somebody has anything, how do we encounter that, and we try to find out a root cause and then again train them and again see how things are further improving.
Raman, we've got 30 seconds remaining. We've been talking about it for a while. Drone deliveries, are we any closer?
Yes, we are. I'm happy to discuss with you that. And we have been working on it. My team really is excited about it. But again, it has to go hand in hand with the regulators. We are working with the authorities. We are working on the internal technology and the processes. You will soon see Jeebly testing it on the ground.
We look forward to talking to you about that closer to the time. For now, though, Raman, really appreciate your time. That was Raman Pathak, who is the co-founder and the CEO of Jeebly.